Hello, today I'm gonna show you a hard endgame by Kasparov. But before I show you the position, let's make a deal. If I teach you a new French word, you like and subscribe to this channel. So, how do you say a gallon of water in French? L'eau du bidon. So, if you look at this position, a7 is the move. So, why did he go a7, even though the rook is shooting right behind him? And this is a hard endgame because, well, white has more pawns, but still, it looks like a better position for black. Well, a7 is the best move because if he goes f7, h8, a7 has to take, and the black king can't go back because there's already pressure on these pawns. So, h7, check, e6, a7 takes the rook, and this is a winning position for black. But what about after a7? h7 is the main move because the black king has to stay on these two circles. So f3 was the next move, g7 by black, obviously, e4 takes the pawn, upping his material, e3, check. The king has to move. Now the main idea with the king is he has to get into some of these circles.
Howdy, partner. If you want to stay in this town, you better like and subscribe to this channel, boy. Or else, you know what the one-eyed Joe do.
So, a3, and the black rook obviously has to stay behind this pawn, because it's a through pawn. e2, h7, d2, g7. The black king, obviously, have to stay in these h7 and g7. King c2, king h7. King b2, a6, c3, g7, b4, a1, c5. So, the king got to where he needed to be. But if he goes a2, then the king goes c6, c2 check, d6, a2, again, keeping the pressure on the through pawn, c8, a6, and keep in mind this position, because after c6, a7, c7, check, has to take, takes the rook, and this is an easy win for white. Obviously, there's another move for c5, c1 check. He goes d6, a1, c8, a6, c6, and remember the position that I told you to keep in mind? Exactly the same position. a7, c7, takes, exchange, and obviously let's see how this position ends. g7, e7, g8, boom, the king gets completely locked out of his pawns. And this, a very easy win for white.